So I don't know how to do this. Luna is being upstaged by the microphone. Let me move the microphone for a second. Luna wants to say hello. Hey, baby. Say hello to everybody. Say hello to everybody. This is my daughter, in case you haven't met her. She usually sits. I know you cannot hear me very well, but here. You ready? You ready? Okay, go back. There she goes. She has her own little perch next to me, and she keeps me company while I work. And just before the broadcast, she meowed, which I understood as to saying, hey, Paco, you haven't introduced me to the cluster for some time. And since I see that Claude kindly said, good morning, cluster, Paco, and Luna, I figured, well, she has to be featured. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where Luna makes the occasional appearance. And when she's out there, we're busy here finding news to share with everyone and eager to hear your comments, ideas, and questions about how to best connect with each other and with our city, Puerto Vallarta, as a community of English-speaking locals. Today is September 6th. Tomorrow, we are going to celebrate a special musical date that we have never celebrated here in Coffee and Headlines. Tomorrow is September 7th, and it's an important musical date not only for Mexico, but for all of Latin America. There's a song about September 7th that is very important in the repertoire, but you would have to enjoy music in Spanish to know it. Some of you may already know the song, and we will announce that tomorrow. But before then, of course, we have our usual news for today. And if anybody has any interesting things to say that you want to share with everybody, it helps a great deal if you add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment. And of course, if you're watching live for the first time and you want to let us know and you want to get a nice little welcome, all you have to do is write the word new in your comment, and we'll give you a nice little welcome. Today, we also have a new lady in the house. Today, we have to tear down a new lady that made the news in Mexico. And later on, you may find yourselves, particularly if you're new or fairly new to Coffee and Headlines, you may find, well, why is Paco being so mean at this poor lady that got drunk and decided to slap a policewoman? Well, you know, you may not be familiar with our tradition. And by saying our tradition, it's not Coffee and Headlines, it's Mexico's tradition. So I will be asking you to write the word lady once we get to that, so that we can explain this habit that we have of showcasing lords and ladies that behave badly in public. But even before we go there, I don't see any cues so far. So let us just get started with the news and take it from there. We start with the Convention Center. Mario Barriga Moreno, who oversees Puerto Vallarta's International Convention Center, has informed that the remodeling project that the facility is currently going through is 95% complete, with a 25 million peso investment from the state government. And this is very good news, although, you may not be very familiar with the facility unless we're attending a concert or a specialized event. We probably don't pay much attention to Puerto Vallarta's International Convention Center. However, it is worth remembering that convention and meeting related tourism is an important source of revenue for our city, not only due to events that take place at the convention center, but also at the many hotels in the city. It is also nice to learn on this particular news item that there are intentions to bring even more performances and artistic events to the venue, which, as you may know, is located right next to the El Salado estuary. I must confess, I've never been to the convention center. There has never been a reason that compelled me to go and check it out, but I'm excited that it's getting fixed up. Moving right along, you may recall how several weeks ago, Holi Beach, next to La Isla Shopping Mall, was declared unfit for swimming due to high levels of sewage. Well, it continues to be unfit for swimming. And now Ceapal, our favorite waterworks company, seems to have discovered a likely cause: a water canal that is illegally dumping sewage into the Pitillal River. Ceapal is currently looking into this canal, which is located near Los Tules Avenue and where the stench is unbearable, they say. And Ceapal is hoping to have clarity on the matter within the next few days. Now, this one is not necessarily related to Coffee and Headlines, but I will say that yesterday I had a wonderful get-together with a good friend and a Coffee and Headlines supporter who casually dropped something into our conversation yesterday. He said, "I don't see you walking and doing walking tours like you used to." And I had to fess up. This summer's hot weather threw a curved ball at me. It's been so hot that it's been really challenging for me to feel motivated to go out and walk to begin with, let alone walk schlepping camera equipment and microphones and the works. But just so you know, it's not only me. And of course, walking tours will come back once the weather gets its act together, if it does. But just so you know, it's not only me. If you've been feeling unusually hot, the United Nations Weather Agency has officially announced that Earth has endured the hottest northern hemisphere on record ever. Well, since they started collecting the information. Now, whether you believe the scientists who blame human-caused climate change or not, I think this is a worthy read, and it is in English, courtesy of Huffington Post. I know that there are a number of people out there in the planet that refuse to accept the fact that we may be the guilty party when it comes to the global effects of climate change. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I have mine. I'm sure you have yours, but I have to recommend this article just because. And now let us turn over to the weather and see what's going on out there. Why are you checking the weather when we all know you'll be inside playing Starfield for the next 3 years? Says snarky weatherman. I don't know that I'm going to be playing Starfield for the next 3 years. I just discovered fantasy football, so I have many things to do. I've decided I'm going to create my own version of fantasy football, and I'll start having auditions next week. But neither here nor there. Right now, we want to know that it is 30 degrees out there. Humidity is at 69, and our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 86. Our weather forecast for today says Mostly cloudy skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon. A chance of rain of 69%, a high of 33, and a low of 25. Tomorrow we can expect scattered thunderstorms possible throughout the day. A chance of rain of 70%, a high of 31, and a low of 25. And then on Friday, mostly cloudy skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 83%, and a high of 32 and a low of 24. I felt some lovely rain in the middle of the night. I don't know if you felt it, but it brought the temperature down, which was actually quite lovely. I have a couple of other things to talk about, and yes, here she is. There's a brand new lady in the house, and boy, she was nasty. Lady Cachetada. I give you Lady Cachetada or Lady Slap. That's what Cachetada means. She began her tour de force by entering a beauty parlor under the influence of alcohol and ended up in a nasty cat fight that landed her on the floor. She then proceeded to a restaurant at a shopping mall. All this, of course, is happening in Mexicali, Baja California, where she refused to pay her bill. And then, to make things even more colorful, she slapped a policewoman, hence her title, Lady Cachetada. So, poor thing. If you're wondering why we discuss things like this and we kind of mock them a little bit, it's a Mexican tradition. Just write the word lady in the comments and I'll be happy to explain for those of you that are fairly new. The rest of us, please indulge me the occasional Lord or lady coverage here at Coffee and Headlines from time to time. And moving right along, I have 3 more things. 2 of them are reminders. This is brand new. President López Obrador has announced that between now and the date in which the Maya train opens to the public, which is expected to happen in late December this year, there will be trial runs conducted every 15 days to make sure that everything is in shape and ready to go. The first one was boarded and the president was there. We talked about it yesterday. And that one went from Campeche to Cancun. And the next one will be announced shortly. And I also wanted, before we get into a chit-chat section, to remind you of a couple of events. The first one's happening in 3 days. This is the summer celebration wine pairing that will be conducted by our friend Gina at Whiskey Kitchen. This will happen on Saturday, featuring 6 wine pairings for you to enjoy. I mentioned that I liked the description in the event where she wrote, "Not your tiny, normal pairings." And knowing Gina as being a very generous human being and certainly a generous restaurant owner, then I can expect this should be a lot of fun. If you want more information, just check out the show notes after the broadcast. And last but not least, this is Mexican Independence Month, and we will be enjoying a great hybrid presentation. Not so much, well, there will be about 8 songs included, but between each song at Viva Mexico, Music, Stories, Culture, and Legacy, we will intersperse music. Within the music, we will intersperse stories, culture, and legacy tidbits that will hopefully help you appreciate what makes us Mexican nationals proud to be Mexican, and hopefully will give you a more comprehensive understanding of what celebrating Mexican independence means to, well, at least some of us. And of course, that will take place on September 14 at the Joint Co-working Hotel. You've seen it announced before, and it is mentioned in the show notes every single day, so you can put it in your calendar should you wish to attend. And now, a quick look at all your comments. And, let's see. Uh-oh, Pat will be a Mexican resident by the end of the day. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Where is my clapping? Here it is. A round of applause for Pam. That was loud. I'm sure that I'm going to get a note from my friend Dan later on. He'll say, your sound effects were really loud today. But that's okay. I see a lot of good mornings and I appreciate those. Buenos dias, Cluster. Paco, did you check out fantasy soccer too? Well, I checked out the official guidelines, but I think I'm going to have my own version. I'm going to go to the nearest soccer field and I'm going to conduct some auditions. Just kidding. I don't know that I will ever play fantasy football, but Betsy, you totally caught me off guard because I know you from our somewhat formal, music presentations. You are a regular attendee. And then when I saw you getting all excited about fantasy football, I thought it was really funny. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Hold on just a second. That was good. Oh, comments for Luna. Thank you very much. Luna loves being featured from time to time. And let's see. Gary thinks Luna is jealous of my new personal assistant. No, she's not. But I should congratulate you, Gary, as president of the Amapas Neighborhood Association. I got a lovely email message from your new communications director this morning, who kindly asked me, when we have news, when we have photos, when we have important announcements, what is the best way to get them to you? And I thought to myself, how wonderful that a person that has information to share takes the time to check with a news outlet to find out what is convenient to them. And I'm going to preach a little for anyone. We talk about this during Promo Prodigy. A lot of times we'll just send things out to the papers and to websites thinking, oh, that's exactly what they need, when it may not be. So I think if you're a singer, an event producer, or this, that, and the other, and you want to disseminate and amplify your message, having the courtesy to getting in touch with any news outlet, not just Coffee and Headlines, but any news outlet, and having the courtesy of asking, hey, I may have something that you could use. Just let me know how to best get it to you, is a really nice, friendly approach. Thank you very much, Gary. As you know, news that relate to the Amapas Neighborhood Association are always welcome here. And let's see what else we have. Deb says, ooh, lady, please. Okay, we'll get to ladies in a second. Let's see what else we have. Caca canal. That's a great expression. I love it. While I'm looking through your comments, just a quick dirty explanation. Mexico has been oppressed since the conquerors came. That's not a complaint. It just seems to be a fact. So whenever we see anybody in Mexico that thinks they're better than other people or deserve better than anybody else, it is very cultural to get worked up about that. So whenever there are Mexican nationals behaving badly in public and abusing their imagined sense of betterness or entitledness, it is quite common for the press and the general public to mock them and call them lords or ladies as though they were members of some imaginary royalty. And that's why we mention occasional lords and ladies that get out of line. We don't go out of our way to find them, but they just sort of appear in the news doing things that we certainly hope none of us ever get caught doing in public. And that's my quick explanation. Let's see what else we have. Yes, I know Luisa loves to hear about the lords and ladies. Is that the police she hit? I am going to say yes, but the videos are just nasty. Just nasty. Oh, wow. I have to say this because I don't think we've mentioned Joshua's Facebook channel as having great visual porn, and I don't mean anything dirty, but Josh has been going crazy in the best possible way, creating the most imaginative designs of tie-dye shirts and other garments. I tell you, if he says he's doing custom orders, just invest in the craftsmanship of something that was created by Joshua. He is an amazing dude, and I love him and his woman and their daughter. Beautiful people. Let's see what else we have. Here's a cue. Oh, goody. Need advice on bringing our 8-year-old Shih Tzu down for a few months, flying American things in advance. I believe a Shih Tzu is a breed of dog. I don't have personal experience doing this, but I am sure there are people that travel with their pets on a regular basis. So if anybody has some kind advice for David, it would be much appreciated. Parenthetically, ETN, my favorite bus line, has started allowing people to bring dogs on carriages on board the bus. In limited numbers, of course, and in limited runs. But I saw that in the news the other day, and it caught my attention. And I tell you, you guys never cease to amaze me. Thank you, Stan, for jumping in. Every single time I see you guys making a connection with one another, it just makes me feel all warm. Now, this is a very, very good question. Gary asks, did President López Obrador appoint a Morena candidate today? Well, it's not so much appoint as much as it is announce. And no, he hasn't. The first thing that I did this morning when I checked the news is I went looking for the new candidate. And the only report that I read is that there's a cane. In Spanish, we call it bastón. In English, we call it, you call it cane. But apparently there's the Morena party has an emblematic cane that President López Obrador will hand over to the candidate sometime today. He said this morning it has to be before Friday because I'm going on tour. So no, the short answer is nothing has been announced. I am keeping myself close to the internet today to find out who the new Morena candidate is going to be for the presidential run next year. And hopefully, if he or she will be announced, and hopefully we'll feature this in the news tomorrow. Claude announces or contributes to the question about pets and American Airlines. This is really great. Thank you very much, Cluster. Every time you do this, you give me the warm fuzzies in the best possible way. And speaking of warm fuzzies, Luna, oh, she's gone. Fine. I'll go find her and I'll give her the warm fuzzies later on today. But right now, it is time to start. Oh, this is so funny. I have to put it after the credits. I have to put it on the screen. There go the credits. And Luisa says, Muffin 2024. You know, Muffin on the Mend sent me a little video. So he's definitely planning his comeback. And there's a final comment saying, maybe the royal scepter, not a bastón. Well, I don't know. In Spanish, we call it the bastón. I don't know if it's royal or not. I think the party would like to think that it is royal, but it is what it is. Thank you, as always, for indulging the news and the commentary every morning. Thank you for keeping me company. And thank you for, up there. Thank you for your ongoing support. I always appreciate the fact that some of you choose to buy the occasional coffee. Some of you choose to become members, and some of you choose to do both. It all goes a long way to help us continue bringing content for you on a regular basis. Have a great Wednesday, and hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.